Previously on Start Building Your Dreams. Our heart was broken when we realized our CVT tent was on its last leg, our Star-gazer destroyed, and ultimately we were faced with several choices. Do we repair it or do we replace it? Stick around and find out what we ended up doing on this episode of Start Building Your Dreams.
I'll let you guys know. Leave a comment. Tell me what I should do about tent down on the bottom. Guys, welcome back to the channel. John here. It's time to start building our dreams, and that's exactly what we've been doing with Project Rampage. However, we ran into an issue when we were doing our walk around video. Our Star-gazer turned out it was destroyed. So today's video is going to show you a little bit of the process, and really I'm trying to answer the question, is it better to replace your tent or repair your tent? And we've had this one for 3 years. We had it on Rubi, our white Jeep, and we went across the country, and you know, we've had a lot of luck with the CVT. I'm always telling people how great it is. However, fast forward 3 years, CVT no longer makes Mount Washington, parts are not available, and so what we came down to, are we going to repair it or are we going to replace it? And it all depends on what's in your area. So for me, I lucked out, and let's just tear into this project and I'll show you kind of how it all went down. Last video we had a little bit of a problem with the CVT tent, and I'll show you what we got going on up here. I'm having to figure this out as we go. I reached out to CVT. They have a Mount Wasatch rainfly, waiting on an email from that. Open the tent up here. I'm disconnecting the front of the rainfly. It's just Velcro, a couple of straps. Same thing on the side, Velcro, a couple of straps. I gotta work my way through. So when you look up here at the cover, it's got a big tear right here, big hole in it. Has a cut right here, and it's got another tear here, and as you can see, it's just kind of faded yellow. So a couple of options. One, we can try to find a replacement rainfly. You know, I think the CVT has one for the Wasatch that might work with some minor modifications. That one is like $140 option. The other one is, you know, try to find a local shop that can do it. Cut this out and replace it with a new piece of plastic, you know, like marine boat shops or a sewing shop that specializes in awnings, or we can try the DIY fix. I do have a sewing machine. This is just, you know, really light nylon. The biggest thing is waterproof sealing, and then going through and, you know, cleaning this up, restitching it, and making sure it's gonna last. So, and then the final option, of course, is replacement. And this is almost exactly like the top oak, and the top oak is on sale right now for like 1,800 bucks for the exact same tent. So is it worth fixing it? Is it worth replacing it, knowing that, you know, the life expectancy of a rooftop tent? So that's what we're going to figure out. Thanks for watching. So we've got to take this out. So we're going to pull that zipper in order to take it somewhere. Good thing is, you know, rivets are pretty cheap to replace. The most expensive thing is going to be the plastic and probably labor to fix this. So by removing this from the tent, it should save us just a little bit of money. See if we can get a pair of pliers and pull those out now. Guys, so we pulled all that out. We got some dead moths over here. I've got the Star-gazer and rainfly removed. I've talked to CVT. They do not have anything. They've changed to the Wasatch now. And so maybe I'll find a possible replacement, or maybe I can find a company here local that can fix it, or worst case, I'll get on Amazon and we'll do some arts and crafts. It's not going to be the prettiest if I do it, I know that for sure, but I don't think it's impossible. You know, somebody in a factory can take and sew this together. There's got to be a repair shop somewhere that can fix boats, convertibles, or what have you. That, you know, that's probably to them a 30-minute fix, maybe with curing time an hour or 2 hours tops. Again, here's the rain fly up close. As you can see, this is just thin plastic. It's worn out. It's got double stitch just like a pair of blue jeans has on the outside, and then on the inside of it they just have this seam sealer here, and that's basically how your rain fly is held on. And it looks like that seam tape is applied after the window's sewn in. So honestly, I might be able to do the exact same thing, or I can find a shop that can fix it. We'll see. I originally started looking at tents. The first place I wanted to check was Outland Motor Works, and you know, their Cali King, it was actually sold out, and he's not going to get any more until August. So right now he's doing pre-orders, and so you can get your tents, you know, and there's upgrades too. So like wiring and lighting and material thicknesses, all the feedback that these companies get, they try to incorporate into future production runs. Inside the Bonnie, it's a lot nicer. So you got, you know, the floor, the lights, the lid opens up taller. You've got rack on top where you can store stuff. Local install, he'll install it, and then shipping can be anywhere from 200 to 400 east of the Mississippi. So yeah, shipping isn't free, guys. That is where the majority of cost comes for everything from apples to trucks to tomatoes to everything else. You buy it, whether it's at the big box store or your local store. So if you can buy something local, it's going to cost you less. And so one of those things you may want to look at is a local supplier. And again, small business is hard to compete when you can't do, you know, shipping across the country for free. But they do have sales and other things, so keep an eye out. And so I'll show you guys kind of what's going on at the Top Oak website. And so I'm over on the Top Oak website right now. We'll try to do a screen share here. Their Vision tent starts at $1,800 with sales. Ours, I think, is more like the Vision XL. And the Vision XL, let's see if it'll refresh and give me a price. You scroll down to the bottom of the page, it gives you all the prices. So the XL is $19.98. That is like way cheaper than what I paid for the CVT. When you go to, like, if you want the awning for the XL, it's like $159. If you wanted the annex room, which I think is kind of cool, that's $400. And then this one actually has a winter insulation kit and that one's $159. So I mean, between $2,000 and, you know, maybe $2,700, you could get a fully outfitted, you know, kit. And it shows all the pictures here of everything with the annex room. And unfortunately, I think Top Oak is in here, and they're kind of killing the U.S. market for all these small companies. They're selling it like Walmart at the lowest price. So it's good for you, the consumer, to buy, you know, a quality tent. But, you know, it hurts small businesses that have been out there trying to do this. So leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think. So one of the things is, when I went to CVT Tents, I'll get you guys a screen recording of this as well. So CVT has, you know, their side opening tents. They've actually got two. They got the La Salle hard shell tent. CVT is a premium tent. And right now those are $33.99. The Wasatch is $37.99, but the Wasatch also has a lot thicker mattress, has a new beam that holds up the outer awning. And so one thing I will say about, like, my style tent is, because I'm so tall, when I sit up to put on my shoes, my head hits the rain fly, and there could be condensation and everything else. Sometimes it'll pool there and it'll dump off the sides. So having that hoop at the end is a good thing. And unfortunately, if you look at how the Wasatch is made, the windows are a lot bigger. The end, mine would use poles versus how theirs uses it with the new opening. And the Wasatch is actually the shell's 2 inches higher because you've got a 4-inch mattress versus, you know, my little 1-inch mattress I've got on mine. So all things to consider. Again, CVT, Outland Motorworks, they make great stuff. I think there's too many, you know, U.S. manufacturers, but I think that would be a good endeavor for somebody. I know Go Fast Camper, they make all their stuff here in the U.S., and there's a couple others. I think if you had a company that, you know, made stuff here in the U.S. and could still keep it around that $2,000 to $3,000 price point, which I think would be tough, I think they'd be very successful. All this to say, between spending $2,000 on a tent, I figure I would at least try to fix it. And we'll probably have to do a follow-up, you know, see how long it lasts. This may last, you know, the rest of the season. It may last 3 years. But, you know, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 to purchase a tent, that's a major investment. And then there's also always people selling them on Marketplace and other places. You know, they've used it 3 times. They decided that the mattress didn't agree with their back, which I can relate to, and so they ended up selling it. So I'm getting ready to head to a local sew shop that specializes in boats, upholstery, cars, and marine. They said they do yachts. Hopefully I don't get a yacht quote for a price, but let's see how this goes. Here they said they can't 100% guarantee it's going to be completely waterproof, but they're going to try. They're also going to upgrade to a little heavier plastic. And price-wise, I told them my budget is right around $300, and they think that they can repair it for about that cost. And I will give you guys some more information. But we're at a sew shop. They specialize in yachts. When I was in there, they had a boat in the back. So these people know what they're doing. And if they can fix a yacht and a buy mini and all those expensive things, I guarantee you they'll be able to fix the rainfly. So definitely looking forward to this. So we are driving to go pick up our top. It's been about 2 or 3 days, and the boat upholstery place has it fixed. And so it only came out to be about, you know, less than $300 to replace the sky viewer or the clear plastic. It is about a yard of plastic. If you look on Amazon, you know, that can be anywhere from, you know, $25 to $60 for just 1 yard, and then you're paying for labor. And you know, these custom boat places, they've got to pay their employees, they got to put the lights on and everything else. There's not a company that I know of yet that completely specializes in rooftop tent repairs. So that's something I'm still looking for, because I think, you know, a lot of people have rooftop tents. Some people don't use them as much as, you know, they would like. But, you know, they're still popular. They're still selling. And we'll see what happens. Also, you know, how's the market changing in the overland community? I think we're all going back to 1970 with the four-wheel camper. So who knows? I'm not going that route just yet. But, you know, our buddy Brad DeRue over at Overlandaroos, Brad at Trail Recon, Sean at the Story Till Now, Asheville Vehicle Outfitters, they've done a lot of four-wheel campers. They've got their own Project M, which was the first one in the United States, on a Gladiator platform. So I think, you know, where is the overland market going? I will tell you from a creator standpoint that these days I feel like everybody who has a Taco, a 4Runner, a Jeep, or, you know, a Gladiator, they're all now YouTube sensations. And it's funny, you know, there is a passion for going out there and going in the woods and making these little videos and everything. I started off with tractors, tools, and trucks. I just happened to get into the Jeep thing, but I was doing YouTube before this. Look this up, and we'll see how it looks. I'll let you know. So we got the new awning, or the repaired awning, and it looks really good. I can't wait to show you guys what it looks like. We're driving back to the house. The shop, I talked to them. You know, we could have done a video, but the problem is I don't know if my video is going to get 10 views, 50 views, or 50,000 views. You never know with these things. But what I will tell you is find, if you can, a local boat repair shop, because it's going to save you a lot of money. It actually ended up being $275, nice even number. So I would say in that $300 range to replace the plastic. Now, if you needed something like, you know, some sewing, if it's a ripstop, they make iron-on patches. So technically, you could use like an iron-on patch if you needed to replace any torn canvas on the or any torn ripstop. Other things, just, you know, some needle and thread. A lot of times you can just mend it up. You can get a sewing repair kit at Walmart or a local sew shop like Hobby Lobby. You can color match the thread to your fabric, and you can do a pretty professional job. Now, if the seam's coming apart, you know, yeah, you'll probably have to, if it's beyond your skill, get a sew shop to help you out, because it's commercial grade. You know, their needles are way thicker and heavier duty, and their machines are way heavier duty than like your home sewing machine. So sometimes it is better to let the pros do it, especially if it's something that's beyond your tool's capability. I'm not going to go out and spend, you know, $15,000 on a sewing machine. Even a used one would probably be a good $1,000 for a good one. And so we'll head back to the house. I'm going to stop, go get some coffee, and we'll get it installed, and I'll show you the final product, because I'm really impressed. I mean, they had it rolled up and stowed in a bag and handed me the bag. They're like, oh, you want to double check it? And I took it out of the bag. So the other thing is they specialize in full like restoration type stuff. So they're already busy. They were doing me a favor, but they had, like, you know, a twin outboard, 30-foot seafoam green boat that they were doing all new, you know, pearl custom beaded cushions basically to replace, and it turned out great. So, you know, I clearly got some work with some pros, and one of the guys had a union shirt on, so I thought that was kind of cool. I guess they got some unionized sewing folks in here. You know, that is a big thing. You know, tailors are highly respected people. This boat repair place, no different. You know, very professional, high-end clientele that they're used to dealing with. So when the guy with the big Jeep and the redneck twang shows up wanting them to fix his tent, yeah, just saying. It's funny, is those same guys who own those yachts probably have, like, you know, a Grenadier or a Jeep. So anyway, I digress. We're gonna go get some coffee, and I'll see you guys at the house. All right, guys, so let's open up the tent. We're gonna start repairing the rainfly. I'm gonna show it to you. The rainfly here actually turned out fantastic. They actually replaced it with a heavier 30 gauge material, so it looks brand new. As you can see, they got the heat seal on the outside. They left a little bit to for water tightness, and then on the back side they heat sealed it as well. So it's got heat seal both inside and out. They couldn't take out the old stitches. They basically cut the old plastic. We have a brand new transparent Star-gazer, and I think it turned out great. Now, they did tell me, hey, we can't guarantee it's not going to leak, but the company that did it, they specialize in boats and custom interiors. And they said they only do larger projects. They also didn't want to get overwhelmed with a whole bunch of people reaching out to them. But what I would encourage you guys to do is reach out to, you know, if you run into this issue, your Star-gazer gets holes, if it's just a slit, if you catch it early, you can patch that. But my plastic was so far gone that it needed to be replaced. If it's a small tear, like in the ripstop nylon itself, you can buy like glue-on patches or iron-on patches to repair that, or you can buy like some glue to fix that, whether it's the rainfly or if it's a tent. And with that being said, I'm going to go through the process. We're going to get this back installed and put the Jeep back together. So hope you guys enjoy. We are going to need our tools out of the back. We're going to need our tailgate down so we can stand on it, because we did drill out some rivets. We got our rivet gun here ready to go. So just 2 rivets, that's all we really had to remove. Get this popped open. It did rain, so we got some typical summer showers here. As you can see, it's just the shell right now up here, so move that out of the way. Bring our ladder down. This isn't as heavy as it normally is. Let's go up in the top and we'll start getting this rain fly pulled through. Alright guys, so basically here's the top of the tent. There's a zipper that goes all the way around the bottom, and that goes into the rain fly. And then the part that we removed was right here. It was just 2 rivets. Looks like I need to drill those out better, so I'm gonna go get my can cut drill bits and we're gonna drill those rivets out the rest of the way. Alright guys, so we got the can cut drill bits here. We just got to figure out what size we need. The great thing about these can cut drill bits is tear through this stuff. I think I might go one size larger. Yeah, I think that's gonna eat through that. And with them being tapered at the end like this, they really tear through rivets. They make short work of it. Huge thanks to Andy at Can Cut. But if you're an automotive body person and you need high quality bits, or a fabricator, these are definitely the way to go. Okay, so we got those 2 out now. Now we can start running our rain fly through. And let's put the top on the bits, move the drill out of the way, because what we don't want to do is put a hole in our brand new repair. I may actually have to come up in there to do this, but basically the way I got it out, I had to take this channel, and we want to make sure we're going the right direction with everything. And this is going to go in here, go all the way around the Jeep or the roof of the tent, and then back to the middle, and then that's how it all connects. So make sure we're good. All right, so I think we're like that, and then we're going to take this, hopefully get it in the channel, and then we're going to work our way around. So it would probably be better with 2 people, because you really need that to stay in the channel, and you need to feed this so it doesn't have any twists in it. You don't want any twists in this. So just kind of carefully work our way around the tent. And come up around the turn. All right, I think it's doing pretty good. It's doing pretty good. All right. Again, just working that around. Just try to lay out our zippers so everything goes in nice and smooth. We don't want to tear anything. It's always easier to take stuff out and dismantle it and put it together, but this is pretty easy. If you guys pan around there, as you can see up at the back, we're just working our way around. I think I'm going to come up inside the tent and do the rest. And make sure we don't tear anything, because it is kind of sharp up there. So just take your time, feed one end up. All right. Got our zipper coming down now. Got our window coming around. There we go. Got a little bit of a pinch right there. As I ran into a little issue in this corner, these corner brackets The other ones, it went around fine. This top one here is giving me problems. And worst case, if it looks like this, you drill it out, you replace it. What I don't want to do is undo everything I've already done and then have to remove it anyway. And so we're just going to take our drill and drill that out. All right, so over in this far corner, and carefully drill these out. There's one. All right. Looks like about 3 inches at a time, maybe. We're getting close. Oh, we're getting close. Looks pretty even on both sides. Let's say 3/16. Definitely close to 3/16. Or one size too small. Well, let's see if that'll fit. That's perfect. So I think before our next big project, we're going to need to buy more rivets. Which rivets are cheap. Get them at Harbor Freight. That's where this whole rivet gun came from. Love to give you guys a Harbor Freight discount code. That would be awesome. I think it's all lining up. There it goes. There's one where I want it. And then I can come up with it. Alright, guys, so now we get to go drill this out. I flip that up out of the way. Don't get too close to this corner. There's really nothing underneath there to hold you up. How's this thing gonna go? It's gonna go like that. Alright, that corner's in. Start zipping. A little pressure there on the corner. All right, it's stretching good. All right. Gorgeous, it's working. All right, home stretch. Voila. Re-Velcro that. Just line everything up and strap it back together. Want to make sure our Star-gazer and everything underneath our strap. Give it a little tug. Make sure it's nice and tight. And put our strap on. And you can adjust these due to wind and everything else. You basically have a strap here. There's another strap right here. Same thing on this side. Line for Velcro. Alright guys, so let's answer this question. Is it cheaper and better to replace your tent? It all depends on time. It took us a couple hours to tear it down, took a couple hours to put it back together. Repair fee was $275. So $275 plus a couple hours. I think that's way better than dropping, you know, another 2 or 3, 4 grand on a new tent. So I like it. Pretty happy. Hey guys, so we're doing a little bit of research on basically what they ended up using at the sew shop. And so right now I'm looking up some 30 gauge material. I'm looking up some seam seal, and I'm looking up, you know, what that would cost. I also came across some like seam glue, so that may be another option. Basically you put the glue on, you roll it tight, and it's used for attaching tarps to each other. So that may be something that some of you guys try if you end up having to do this yourself. Yeah, so what's probably in there is like a 4 gauge or a 10 gauge already, like real thin, you know. That stuff's almost as thin as the other stuff. But for 1 yard of 30 gauge, it turns out it's like 28 bucks on Amazon. So 20 gauge, 54 inches wide, that's more than enough. So if you had to buy it on Amazon and take it somewhere to get it sewn, or if you wanted to sew it yourself, that's what we would be looking at. All right guys, so what I searched here was some heat seal tape, UV resistant and clear tape. The stuff that's kind of interesting to me is there's some T-Rex tape, all weather. It's about 2 inches by 9 yards. And then there's some Gorilla clear tape that's 2 inches again by 18 yards. But then there's this X-Fasten transparent window weather sealing tape, 2 inch by 30 yards. And each of those is about, you know, $10 to $13. And so you would just have to read up on which one works best. It looks like this T-Rex stuff is made for water, all-weather, UV resistant, strong, sticks to wet surfaces, all-weather and UV resistant, clear. But I don't see that it's like heat applicable, and part of the heat process like melts it down and like seals out the air pockets and everything else where it could peel apart. What you don't want to end up doing is getting some type of like tape that's just going to peel off easy. So definitely want to invest in some good tape. Here's another one. It's called Max Extreme, but this looks like duct tape. And so, you know, I think the seam tape, oh, here's some Biolay transparent window weather sealing. This looks like they're just using it for regular windows. And then there's some water patch and seal tape clear, X-Fasten. So I don't know, I would try like maybe some of the Gorilla waterproof or this X-Fasten brand. And then there's some stretch and seal self-fusing silicone tape and clear. I think some of these would be good if you just had a slash, you know, you just wanted to put one on the inside, one on the outside of the window, and like, you know, smash them together. I think those would be good for that. And the last thing I'll say is I came across this sealant. I was watching another repair video where a guy was using this stuff to basically bind basically tarps together. He'd lay one down, run some glue across that one, run some glue across the other one, let it like get tacky for a few minutes, and then they'd put them together, and then they would roll them together. So I think you might be able to try some of that too. The stuff I found here, this HH vinyl cement, this seemed to be like the most popular. If you bought a whole bunch of it, it's like 80 bucks. If you bought just, you know, a little can, it's like 16 ounces, it's like 25. And then I think they've got some like 8-ounce cans that are probably down in that $10 range. So if any of you guys try that, yeah, here's a 4-ounce can that's like 15 bucks, or an 8 ounce is 20. So still, you know, within that price range of do it yourself. Again, I think the biggest challenge is going to be actually like sewing one of these panels back together. And so that was kind of why I left it in the hands of professionals to, you know, repair this. All right, guys, I really enjoy that I get to share my dream with you. We've got a lot of adventures coming up, and I just want to say thanks for watching. Thanks for you guys that have subscribed. And, you know, it helps out the channel a lot. We get to work with partners because of, you know, how many subscribers we have and our reach and your engagement when you ask questions. When we do something like a lift kit install video for Clayton Off-Road, and it got like 20,000 views, like blew my mind. but the comments were, hey, I went back and watched it 2 or 3 times. Really appreciate you helping me out with this. So again, the purpose of this channel is help inform, motivate, and inspire you guys to get out there and start building your dreams. And I hope to catch up with some of you guys at shows. I also want to see some of y'all out there on the trail. Thanks for watching. Off to our next adventure.